Kuna space. So we need even the front seats. So as we settle, we will have two people. So guys, if you can come on the stage. Jenny. Okay, thank you.
Whatever it is we learn today, Lord, that it may enter into our long-term memories, my Father and my God, and that we may be able to use it, Lord, even as we get out that you've given us. We do not take it for granted. Safe, Lord, even as we are safe, Lord, even as we are
إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير اللهم لا مانع لما أعطيت ولا مبطع لما منعت ولا ينفعك الجد منك الجد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد صدق الله العظيم إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد صدق الله العظيم.
Amen. The door. Please let's settle in. We do have a few things that we will be doing today. We have amazing speakers, of course. We have our MD. We have you guys. You are the reason why we are here. Then we also have online, that's social media. We need to post. So you guys can post. We are on all social media platforms from TikTok, yeah, I guess. And we have Facebook, Instagram, and for the professionals, we're also on LinkedIn. So you can guys tweet, I don't know, is it Xing, tweeting, vile inaitwa siku hizi. So we are on X at Immobilis. We are also on Instagram at immobilis_tech, and we are on Facebook at Immobilis Mobile Technology Training Institute. So guys, you can tag us, mention us, we will tweet, we will retweet, we will repost, we will reshare. And at the end of the tweets, retweets, nikona something for you. So may the best one win. We have the hashtags of the day. Those are the handles. And we have the hashtags of the day. Yes, we have Immobilis Tech Talk, hashtag Tech Talk 2025, hashtag Technovation. You guys can see that? Okay, sawa. So you can just snap? No. You can take post national anthem. So again, we will have to stand. Our MD, how many know or have seen our MD today or any other day? How many? Why they have not seen you. So we are going to welcome Ken Mwenda, our MD, to give you a brief intro to Immobilis. Guys, clap for him. Makofi, no. I will not give him the mic until mumpigie makofi mzuri. Okay, let's please. Okay, thank you very much and welcome, Ken.
All right, thank you, Susan. Good morning. I'm Jamboni. How are our favorite Gen Zs doing today? And you're not just our favorite Gen Zs because you've paid us school fees. You're also our favorite Gen Zs because you decided to take tech and to take up that challenge. By the way, welcome to the Kenya National Theatre. whoever was supposed to do the national anthem, you had one assignment, just one, and it was the national anthem. But I think that has cheered us up. Looking at you guys, you look amazing, first of all. I feel younger just looking at you guys with my big ears. Looking at Gen Zs is always super exciting. Can you turn to your neighbor and just say, I'm looking young and I'm looking bright? Now, say it like you mean it. See kama uliamka 5 minutes ago. Say it like you mean it. Okay, so let me welcome you to the Kenya National Theatre. It's an incredible space. How many of you have been here before? How many of you have been to the Kenya National Theatre before? Isn't it amazing? I think this is one of Kenya's most impressive auditoriums and rooms. And the reason that we invest heavily as Immobilis to bring you here is because of the Tech Talk and because of what this day signifies. And for those of you who haven't been here before, don't worry, we'll continue to upgrade you. We'll upgrade your life, don't worry. Just stick with us. But the reason we bring you here every year, the reason we had 10 buses bringing over 470 of you here today from all walks of life, you represent the best of Kenya, frankly. And I'm not just saying that to be nice. I truly believe you represent the best of Kenya. And the reason we do this is because we believe as an academic institution that it's extremely important that we bring you and put you in an audience in front of some incredible speakers so that you're hearing from industry, you're hearing from developers, you're getting career guidance, you're understanding what's so exciting about this career path and this tech space that you've chosen to venture into. And it's not enough to hear it from lecturers and to hear it from us as Immobilis. We feel it's important, and because of that, we have some incredible speakers today. And they'll be introduced in due course, but we're very grateful to them for making time out of their busy schedules to come and just talk to you about tech trends, their personal journeys, and what tips and advice they have for you. So let me also share a bit about Immobilis. That was, I think, my assignment. I'll also ask the Immobilis team to prepare to come up to stage in just a few minutes so that you can meet them. But in beginning, it's to say that I welcome you and I thank you for choosing Immobilis. As the co-founder, I've been doing this work for about 15 years now. Immobilis is about 15 years old. So Immobilis is actually kind of a teenager, just like you guys. Full of ideas, full of energy, can change the world, and we love that. And we're hoping and praying that we can harness that, and that by the time you leave, for most of you, you're in the full stack program. It's 4.5 months. Some of you are in cybersecurity, some of you are in data science, and it may seem like a very long time now, because there are days maybe when the code is not coding and the math is not mathing, and there's sleepless nights as you're trying to fix what you're creating. But 4 months will pass like this. 4.5 months will pass like this. But we believe this is one of the best investments you could have made in your time. And I know so many of you, and that's the reason I'm thanking you, so many of you had other things that you could do and maybe are doing, from German classes to driving classes to baking classes, classes on how to take pictures of cats and post them on Instagram. I don't know what classes you guys do these days, but there are many other things you could have been doing, but you chose to take tech. You chose to take coding or data science or cybersecurity, which is not necessarily easy, but let me tell you, Maina, that you're in for a ride and a half, because this area and the things that we've seen, how fast it's changed in the 15 years. When we started, and the reason we started was 40% unemployment was not acceptable for us as directors and as founders of the company. The idea that, according to Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, every year, 935,000 young people enter the workforce, the labor market. Only about 20% of those will get formal jobs in formal employment. So we looked around and we said, what are the two trends that are driving the world, the future of work, and what can we do and offer value to the world? And starting with Kenya, what is it that we can offer that will make a difference, that will make an impact, and that will help with unemployment? And the two trends that we noted were, one was the telco space. At the point where we started, there was no Safaricom, by the way. There was Airtel, there was Kcell, there was You, there was Orange. There was no apps. there was nothing such as apps. So all these things that you use every day, and here's an interesting test I like to do every now and then. It's about, what, 9:30 now, 9:40? How many apps have you already used by the time you're seated here today? You maybe woke up at 6, I assume, or 7. How many apps? Shout out some names of apps that you know you've already used by the time you're here. Go for it. Instagram, okay. Please, there better not be any sport betting ones that you've already used. Or Fulizas. Let's hope there's no Fulizas. Instagram? Which other apps? Sorry? WhatsApp. Perfect. Tinder. Guys, we don't judge. This is a safe space. What you do in your own time is up to you. Okay, Tinder, WhatsApp, Instagram. Chrome. Okay, Chrome. Which others? Have any of you, did you use an alarm clock to wake you up this morning? That's an app. Did you take down some notes somewhere in a notepad? That's an app. Did you on your calendar remember something that you need to do and put it down? That's an app. Did you listen to music on the way here? Spotify, YouTube, whichever. That's an app. Mdundo. Did you pay for anything today using M-Pesa or Fuliza or any of those other many apps that we know? If you did, so it's possible that by the time you're sitting here today, you've already maybe used 6 or 7 apps. Those apps were created by people like you. Just people who had the skill, the talent, and the interest. And then they learned this skill somewhere, in the US, in Germany, in the UK, wherever. So that's the first trend that we saw, is that young Kenyans can be creators. You guys are sharp. You guys are interested in tech. You guys are interested in learning, right? And if channeled well, that was the first trend, is tech is over the world. So why don't we teach young people software development training for the mobile app? The first one was the telco one that I mentioned, because when we first started, we didn't have a software development coding course. We didn't have data science, we didn't have cybersecurity. What we had was a network infrastructure course, so that if you wanted to work at Safaricom or ESSA or you, jobs that were paying really well in the ecosystem, jobs that they were using expatriates and paying them to come to Kenya to do jobs that you could be doing and paying them well, we said, no, young Kenyans can learn that skill, and that's where we started. And then to solve for, over the years, over those 15 years, we've been very blessed. We've been in consortium with the University of Nairobi and the iHub. We've been a web presence. And this idea that Google had in trying to train 1 million young people across Africa about 7 years ago, that you could be economically empowered to make a living through understanding the internet and advertising and other aspects of the internet. So we were one of 12 partners across the continent that worked for Google as a mobile program, who manage 101 digital hubs across the country, from Turkana to West Pokot. And these are staff that we pay through a grant, courtesy of the MasterCard Foundation. We also have 67 trainers who train young people on online work. So how do you become a transcriber? How do you become a virtual assistant? How do you do data analysis with Excel? How do you do graphic design with AI? So all manner of skills, as well as the AWS Cloud Practitioner Program. So those 67 trainers are across the country. They train through Ajira clubs that we've helped launch at about 100 and there are about 125 Ajira digital clubs that have been launched to date. They train virtually. There's an Ajira digital portal. And the idea is, how can Kenya export our talents without people leaving, right? How can you provide service to the world? And what's even more exciting, be paid in dollars or pounds or euros right from here, be able to spend that money here because of a skill that you have that is for freelancing, right? Or that is for remote work. So that's some of what we've been blessed to be able to do over those years. We've trained over 10,500 young people just like you in that 15 years. But also equally, we've been very excited to win many different awards. We've won the DIA National Awards for Employment. We've won the Pacesetters Award in Dar es Salaam. We won the Digitally Fit Award. We won from the ICT Association of Kenya the Best Use of ICT in Education Award. I was in Switzerland last year to win an award for work that we do on women's empowerment through a program that we have called Mobi Girls. And so it's been very exciting. But I can tell you for free that what gives us the most excitement, the most joy, is seeing you guys thrive. When we hear an alumni come back to us 2 years later after they've graduated, 5 years later, and say, I entered a hackathon and I won, or I formed a team with people that I met at Immobilis and we've started a company, or I've gotten employed, or young alumni who work at Google as community managers, Facebook in Ireland because of the skill that they got here and then what they kept on learning thereafter. That gives us a lot of joy. How many people you will end up employing through your startup, or the remote job that you got that you're doing from right here, or an app that you've created, or a website, or a portal that you've created that is helping farmers, that is helping patients, right, across the country, right, or that is helping students. Because you had an idea, you then combine that with the skill that we will give you, right, in the 4.5 months, and you are able to go to market with this thing that is now hopefully an innovation that is helping and changing lives. And make you who haven't paid, this is just a polite reminder. Let me ask the Immobilis team to come up to. As they are coming, let me also say another 2 or 3 things. We take the assignment of training you extremely seriously. Currently, we have 5 labs. We have virtual classes, we have Saturday classes, we have, as I mentioned, data science as a course, we have cybersecurity as a different course. Yeah, the team, you can start coming. But we take this assignment very seriously because we understand that either it's your parents who are using their hard-earned money, or it's you who's using your hard-earned money, but it's also your time. We want to respect your time, right? And to that effect, there are many things that we do. We do this tech talk. We hire what we believe are very good lecturers who have experience, who are developers themselves, who have taken online certifications on Udemy and Stanford and all manner of places. We've invested very heavily in infrastructure. We pay almost 100 and something K per month just for internet. So on that note, please use it just for academic purposes and for research, not for torrenting and for downloading movies. But yes, we pay a lot for internet and the infrastructure. We also realize that in Africa, one of the biggest challenges is the digital divide on devices. Not all of you necessarily have a device. So we have over 97 machines for students that we keep replenishing every 2 or 3 years just to make sure that they are powerful enough to do the kind of work that you need to do on them. Then we do community work. We'll have a blood drive, and that will be next month, I believe. So when we call you, please come. Blood is one of the most needed things in this world. You could save someone's life just by 30 minutes of donating blood. We organize with the Kenya National Blood Transfusion Services. They normally come. Even if you're afraid of needles, that day, just man up or woman up, just come. Just come. And if you faint, we won't tell anyone. Again, as I said, we don't judge. But just come. It's been successful in the past. We did it last year. We've done it for many years. And it's really gone a long way, whether with Kenya Red Cross or Kenya National Blood Transfusion Services. So that's another thing we do. We also have a student leadership and a student council. And if I can ask all the student leaders to just stand up for a minute. If you're a student leader in any of the classes, please stand up. I can tell you that they were duly elected. There was no fishy business. So in every class, including the online classes, there's a male and a female student representative. We've had meetings with the student council. classes are good, if we're meeting your expectations, if what you're learning is making sense. So let's give a big round of applause to all these student leaders who volunteer their time. So don't notice that you're missing class and they maybe gently ask you, how come you've been missing class? So you miss a little bit and you end up missing a lot, and we don't want you to drop out. So do your part, please attend. But thank you so much. The student representatives, you may have your seats. We really appreciate it. And it's not a paid job, so that's an extra reason to thank them. So let me ask the team to introduce themselves, and then I'll give my 2 closing remarks.
Hello, I'm Bill Okinda. Department is the BPO department.
Good morning. My name is Alan Alwanye, technical support.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Claire Karani, the Corporate Trainings and Programs Manager.
Hi, everyone. Felix Kegode, a teaching fraternity, specifically a lecturer.
Good morning. My name is Faith Musyoka, lecturer, software development.
Good morning. Simunanino. I know wengine tumekuwa na push up asubuhi, but we had to come here on time. So I was doing my job. I'm Paul Butita, marketing.
Good morning once again. I'm Susan Sulubu, digital marketing and your MC.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gloria Okoth, MIT lecturer.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wilberforce, student liaison, marketing.
Good morning. I'm Deborah Meme, IT intern.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Peter Gashuki. I'm the data science lecturer here at Immobilis.
Morning, everyone. My name is Radha Mwikali, marketing intern.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Migada, IT intern.
Eric Were, lecturer.
Evelyn Munguti, programs intern.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I'm Fresha Kamau, head of administration.
Can we give them a big round of applause? So this is a portion of the team. As I mentioned, we have a JIRA dedicated program management officers. So in total, we have over about 212 staff, including the HQ team, the BPO team, and as well as the JIRA and the programs team. So we're very blessed in that regard. So my 2 closing remarks were this. In January, middle of January, I was, as part of Immobilis, was invited to a summit in Geneva, in Switzerland. So I went there, it was for about 3 days. It was called the AI for Developing Countries. If there's anything that I took away from that conference, and there was PhDs, there was people who are founders of startup companies, providing all manner of solutions with drones, to do with water, soil, data, and just improving things in many different areas. There was also representatives from the UN. It was at the UN headquarters in Geneva. And it was that as a continent, if we're not careful, AI is one of the most disruptive technologies, and as Bill Gates said, is the most disruptive and profound platform change that there has ever been. So that's my first plea to you, is that we need to understand and get ahead of AI so that we're not just passive consumers, that we're also creators, that we're not left behind. It's incredible what AI can do. Countries are investing, as you've seen the US, 500 billion. China has shown with DeepSeek that you don't need to, you can do things in an innovative, faster, and more efficient way. So it's possible. It's possible. We don't need to accept to be left behind. But it's also one of the reasons why we changed the curriculum to offer Python instead of PHP, which is what we had been doing before. It's also the reason why we have a data science class. So whether it's just your basic use of ChatGPT and getting very familiar with that, or Gemini or Llama, or it's then taking an interest in machine learning and AI and Python and then creating things with it, I urge you to please do that. So that's one. Two is, if there's anything that we've seen, certificate is good, but this is a skill that we're teaching you. It's like teaching you how to create fire or to make a table, right? The certificate is good and it's useful, but more importantly is your portfolio. What have you done, and can you pass a code test? A lot of companies, Elon Musk famously, even the other day, I think for Tesla or Starlink, sent an X tweet where he was like, just come. We don't need to know what fancy school you went to. We just need to know what you can do. And I think that's what we've seen as Immobilis with a lot of employers. From time to time, we'll get requests for Android developers or data scientists. And what you need to be able to do is pass a code test and show them your GitHub portfolio so that they know that you actually, A, understand tools like GitHub, but also B, you've done something, you've created something. So that's my second thing to you. Please, we've taught you how to use GitHub. I believe in all the classes now. The next level is just making sure you're creating projects and uploading those projects. And then the third thing is just network, attend, and just research, even on your own. Have a hunger for learning, have a curiosity for what you're doing, beyond what we teach you in class. We can only teach you so much. But we believe if you do these things, that the sky is the limit. The tech industry is just, it was already big before, but when you think about government digitizing, and they'll need you guys. When you need, and this was a start I had last week at the Digital Transformation Summit at the Nation Media Group, that the number of cyber threats and attacks in Africa has increased 300% in the last year. 300%. What that means is there'll be a lot of jobs in cybersecurity because companies, banks, insurance, medical companies are very now protective of their data, and they understand ransomware, they understand all these things that can cripple your business. So they need cybersecurity experts and data scientists. So just, the sky is the limit. The opportunities are incredible. We're so happy that you're here as I conclude. We're so grateful for all the speakers for making time for today. I hope you guys have an incredible day, and we look forward to seeing your projects in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much. Back to you, Susan.
Makofi tafadhali. Makofi tena. Okay. Thank you very much. And you guys laughed when Eric introduced himself. Why? Mbona mlicheka Eric? Eric, they are happy to see you. Yeah, he's also happy. So we are going to request Alan to play for us a very short video. Then we will have our speakers. Alan and the team.
The global technology and innovation ecosystem is rapidly growing, and Kenya
in the world of work, whether it's winning hackathons for innovative applications that they created, whether it's creating startups and then coming back and saying, hey, I need to hire other developers for my startup, whether it's the government of Kenya entrusting us to run the Nigerian digital program, which is an incredible undertaking, funded through very graciously by the Mastercard Foundation, and we've had the opportunity to work in Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania. So for us, we know what we're doing makes a difference, and so transforming the lives of young people, that's been what's very exciting for us.
Moving into the future, Immobilis is committed to continually enhance and build on its training modules, as well as provide growth in its innovative program solutions, championing increased uptake of information communication technologies by African youth to enable them earn decent livelihoods, to promote continental and global development.
To Immobilis.
Technology and innovation ecosystem is rapidly growing, and Kenya is not an exception. Dubbed Silicon Savannah, Kenya's technology space continues to tap into the fourth industrial revolution on various technologies, including automation, data science, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, among others, to spur growth in the digital economy. Out of the 600 innovation hubs in Africa, 50 of those are hosted in Kenya, making it an attractive destination for technovation giants like Google, Visa, Amazon, Microsoft, among others. Given the growth, the market demands for talent has continued to expand, prompting local players like Safaricom to introduce industry digital talent programs to address the skills gap. Therefore, it is critical to train and skill a highly qualified workforce to drive and sustain the sector. Welcome to Immobilis. Established over a decade ago, Immobilis Technology Training Institute has been empowering youth by tapping and skilling them in ICT to best prepare them for global opportunities tech presents.
I developed my interest in the tech space right after high school. Since my grades were okay, I stepped into my first tech class.
Since I was a kid, I always wanted to do tech. Let's say a radio is not working at home, I would open it and try and fix it. They were even calling me Fundi.
Right after my campus, I was considered the best in Bungoma County, and there was this program rolled out to do the program. I ventured into charity.
And the reason we started Immobilis is we saw two interesting trends. The first one was that there's 40% unemployment in Kenya, which frankly is quite unacceptable. And yet our highest conviction was that young people are interested in learning, they're interested in knowledge, they're interested in certification and in improving their lives. So we started a course, the first in sub-Saharan Africa, around network operations and network certificate engineering. The vision of Immobilis and the reason we exist and what gives us the greatest joy is empowering and supporting young people to upskill and to get exposure through training, mentorship, coaching, to be able to basically get the skills that they need to prepare them for the future of work.
My experience at Immobilis has been good. I've learned many languages, HTML, Java. The most interesting part of the course I'm doing, the full stack software development, is that it gives people creativity of making the website, and I can now even do my own job, creating website, the front view, back end.
For me, what has been interesting is the websites and databases. I've always wondered, for example, like when people are registering for a certain program using a website, where does the data go to? Doing this course at Immobilis has also given me more skills in doing Android web, so that in case someone has a website that they feel like they need to develop, someone's running a business but they're not able to reach a suitable market, so that a website or an application would actually build.
Immobilis imparts digital knowledge, software and other technologies training, equipping inclusive young graduates with marketable industry-driven skills. Of notable recognition is Smart Glove, invented by Roy Alela, an alumnus of Immobilis Technology Training Institute.
Sign.io is a sign language to speech translation glove that aims to extend the communication capabilities of individuals with a speech impairment.
The knowledge I got from Immobilis has helped me get a job at MPost, where I work as a mobile developer, and also have a project for my country currently ongoing for schools.
The knowledge that I learned in Immobilis immediately was applied in my first internship. And at Ziltech Technologies, I lead a team of data engineers. We develop business intelligence analytics system. We take data of our clients, analyze that data, and these reports, they are able to make intelligent decisions out of it.
So we don't want to come in and reinvent the course and say that, hey, we're teaching cybersecurity.
When you join Immobilis, depending on the course you have taken, it takes a different duration. For the MIT course, it takes 4 months. By the end of those 4 months, you can be able to create dynamic and professional systems. Python takes 2 months, Python for web, then you can be able to use Flask to be able to create a system. On data science, we have 2 clusters. So for beginners, it takes 3 months. For an advanced version, it takes 2 months because already you know Python. So it takes you less time to be able to learn now much more advanced in data. For cybersecurity, it takes 3 months. By the end of those 3 months, you can be able to do penetration testing, learn actually how to prevent hacking in any organization or system that actually you're working on.
One thing I really love about Immobilis is about their classes are practical. Secondly, their lecturers are friendly and are able to guide you up to the completion of the program. Every day there's a task you are given, you get to actualize it as you do it.
We've trained over 8,700 young people in those 12 years. Not just in Kenya, we've had students come from as far as Ghana, Rwanda, and Nigeria even. come to take our courses. We've seen some of our alumni go and work in Facebook in Ireland as tech leads. We've seen some of our alumni work at Safaricom, the Network Operations Center. We've had alumni work at Google as community managers.
Additionally, Immobilis runs programs that provide professional ICT services to both local and multinational organizations.
My name is Edna Carijo. I'm the program manager at Immobilis. I've been with Immobilis over the last 6 years. Some of the major programs that we've run over the last years include Google Digital Skills for Africa program. Google had an ambitious goal of equipping 10 million young Africans with digital skills to prepare them for the future of work. Immobilis was selected by Google as one of the 12 partners in Africa to roll out this program. So through this partnership, we've been able to equip over 320,000 youth on digital skills across East Africa, with 46% of them being girls. For the Jura Digital program, we have a team of 170 championing online work and digital work as well, and helping young people through their online work journey. We also run the Mobigirls program, which we are very passionate about because it targets young women in technology.
Immobilis launched Mobigirls in the year 2016 with the aim to train, empower young women to uptake STEM courses. After completion of the Mobigirls course, the girls and the young women are able to create mobile applications, websites that enable them to be self-employed and also acquire employment. We are proud to have empowered, mentored and impacted the lives of over 220 young women.
In all of this, the main aim is to equip and prepare young people to help them harness the digital economy and exploit the technology space and become thought leaders in their different careers.
Being a world-class training and technology institution, Immobilis prides itself to have over the years been recognized and awarded with several accolades.
In 2019, Immobilis was named the best partner by Google across Africa in terms of delivering the Google Digital Skills for Africa program. So we received the award twice, and this was because of the efforts of the trainers on the ground.
We've received awards from the Presidential Digital Talent Program as the best private sector partner, the DR National Awards, we were runners-up. We also received an award a couple of years ago from the ICT Association of Kenya for best use of ICT in education. We were fortunate to partner with the iHub and the University of Nairobi to win a World Bank grant as a consortium that helped us set up the first ever regional mobile laboratory around the world. What also gives us a lot of excitement and joy is seeing our alumni succeed in the world of work, whether it's winning hackathons for innovative applications that they've created, whether it's creating startups and then coming back and saying, hey, I need to hire other developers for my startup, whether it's the government of Kenya entrusting us to run their Jira Digital program, which is an incredible undertaking, funded through very graciously by the MasterCard Foundation. And we've had the opportunity to work in Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania. So for us, we know what we're doing makes a difference. And so transforming the lives of young people, that's been what's very exciting for us over the 12 years that we've been around.
Moving into the future, Immobilis is committed to continually enhance and build on its training modules, as well as provide growth in its innovative program solutions, championing increased uptake of information communication technologies by African youth to enable them earn decent livelihoods to promote continental and global development.
I'd say Immobilis is a good institution. The lecturers are very understanding.
You will enjoy almost like a 24-hour support. You can access your lecturers and tutors and every other stuff.
Tech is the future. Like, there's nothing we'll be able to do maybe in the next 10 or 20 years without tech.
So there are numerous opportunities in tech. You just need to map out what you really want in the tech space and look for a specific skill-based program.
Africans have the opportunity, as the world continues to change, to be able to capitalize on employment and starting companies and solving problems for their communities if they understand tech. As Immobilis, we want to be your partner to help you develop, gain the skills you need to be able to succeed in the future of work. Join us.
The global technology and innovation
and
ecosystem
experiences
is
in
rapidly
Copilot. She has previously worked as a solution architect at Safaricom PLC and at Shimba Technologies, where she led the design and software architecture for projects. So Joy holds a master's in computer science from the University of East London with distinction, guys, and bachelor's in mathematics and computer science from Jomo JKUAT. In 2022, Joy was awarded with a prestigious Tech Women Fellowship, a program that empowers women leaders in STEM through professional mentorship and exchange in Silicon Valley. Guys, she's doing amazing stuff. Able to clap kabla niendele. Let's clap for Joy. Okay, thank you. So in 2019, she was listed by Cosmopolitan SA as one of the 25 women under 25 making their mark in Africa, and in 2018, Joy was honored by OK Africa as one of the 100 women in excellence in Africa. Guys, again, we should be clapping as I continue because she's really doing amazing work. So Joy is passionate about mentorship, and she is intent on inspiring more young people, especially women, to take up careers in STEM. She takes great pride in turning ideas into quality customer service. She believes in the power of curiosity and dedication in your craft. Guys, let's welcome Joy B. Yeah, and please clap for her. And as Joy B comes on stage for her session, we are going to do it differently. Yeah, we are trying to be unique. Sindio Joy?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, we are. All right.
Yeah, so guys, are you ready for us? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, sawa. So I have a couple of questions for Joy. So Joy, someone whistled. Okay, thank you for that, Joy. That was yours.
Thank you. I received it.
So the first question is, Joy, tell us about yourself. What did you study and what attracted you to a career in ICT?
All right, thank you so much. You're a wonderful MC. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, like you are enthusiastic to be here. Good morning. All right, it's wonderful to meet you and to speak to you. I've heard a lot about Immobilis. I first heard about Immobilis a long time ago when it was just starting and they were offering their classes. So it's wonderful to be able to see the students and all these years and how far it has come. A bit about myself. My name is Joy. She's read out my bio, so I won't repeat that. But to share a bit about myself and what attracted me to ICT or to a career in tech in general. I remember when I was in high school and we were choosing optional subjects in Form 1. So you could either choose German or you could choose computer studies or you could choose, I think it was home science and something else. And so because I don't like languages, German was out of the table. Home science, I didn't want to do that, so I chose the computer studies. I didn't know what it involved. I had interacted with computers a bit in primary school, but nothing serious. So I decided to do computer studies. I pursued that from Form 1. When it came to choosing subjects at the end of Form 2, I chose it and I decided to continue with it till Form 4. I did the project, we built, I think it was like a learning management system, I remember then. And so the passion for computers, and I thought this was a very interesting thing, and how you are able to think of a problem or an idea and then be able to use computers and actually build something out of it, that was something interesting for me. So I thought that this is something that I could possibly pursue. And then when it came to choosing courses in Form 4, which I'm sure most of you did, I don't know with the new system if you're still doing that, but when it came to choosing courses, I had an idea. I thought maybe I choose a Bachelor of IT or I choose computer science or something related to that. So I put in a couple of options. The board for calling students did the things that they usually do. So I ended up being called for maths and computer science. I hadn't heard of this course before at JKUAT. I knew the computer science bit, but I wasn't sure I wanted to do a Bachelor of Science that had maths. It sounded very difficult, but I said, let me just go and see what it was about. So that's how I got interested in ICT, and then that's how I eventually started my first degree and learning in that field.
Okay, thank you, Joy, very much. So my next question is, how did you decide which area of ICT you wanted to pursue, and what was your first job like?
That's a good question. So I've gone to university, I've done the BSc in Maths and Computer Science, and just a caveat to anybody who will do it at JKUAT, it has a way lot more maths than it does computer science. So you'll do a lot of mathematics units, which are really good foundation for computing and anything that you'll do in computer science, understanding the reasoning that it takes, doing a lot of statistics and calculus helps you build the reasoning abilities that you'll need if you'll go into software development or data science or networking. So while I was at university, I joined a mentorship program called Kamilimu. I don't know if any of you has heard of it before. So Kamilimu is a structured mentorship program for students who are in university or in college, and they are pursuing degrees in IT, computer science, technology. So it's an 8-month program where you're taught skills that you wouldn't necessarily learn in the classroom. So you're taught things like public speaking, how to craft your CV and your LinkedIn profile, how to communicate your achievements and the things that you've done. So that program really helped me to find myself a bit better, learn to communicate about the things that I have done. And also, because they would bring in, my course had a lot of maths in it and statistics. Many people in my class were going into data science, but I didn't really feel like that was something I wanted to pursue. I was interested in the coding units we had done so far. We did C, C++, and Java, and I thought that was something I wanted to do. So I decided to pursue software engineering. So for the first few years of my career, that's what I did. The first internship that I got was at a very small mobile advertising company where I was working as a back-end engineer. We were building dashboards to be sending out marketing SMSs and then just doing the analysis from that. How many people has it reached? I did that, and then after that I got a full-time job at a company called Shimba Technologies, where I worked both as a software engineer, and then after some time I became a software architect. About later.
Okay, thank you very much, Joy. How many think like so? Just raise your hand. I can see some ladies really smiling. Wow, Joy, you've done amazing work. So my next question is, what different career roles have you had so far, and what did you learn from each?
Thank you. So I have done several different roles, or let me just call them roles, in ICT generally. And I think it's okay as you're pursuing and you're learning yourself and you're figuring out what it is that you like. It's okay to pursue different things. You don't, if you start out as a network engineer, it doesn't mean you have to go the whole extent of your career as a network engineer. If you find something else along the way that you're passionate about, then pursue that. So for me, like I said, I started out by pursuing software development. That was interesting to me for a while. Just being able to build systems, back-end systems mostly, to build systems and understand this is how you can build data, this is how you can actually translate an idea into an actual product. And then that built in me the curiosity to think, these systems or these programs that we're building individually, how do they connect with other things out there? So whether if it's in a company with other systems in the company, or even externally with how would it integrate with something else outside of the ecosystem in the company. So that led me to software architecture or solution architecture. I had never heard about that role before. I searched a lot about it on the internet, and then I found out some information. So when I was offered that role at my first job, I decided to take it up. And it turned out to be very interesting. The company that I was working for at the time was a vendor for Safaricom, so they were building some mobile applications for registering subscribers. Like when you buy a new SIM card, the application that captures your details and then you're created in the system. So that company was doing that for Safaricom, and I was put on that project. And then in the interactions that I was having with people at Safaricom, eventually I was offered a position at Safaricom to continue with that project as an architect. And so that was a really good opportunity, because now I got to see how to build not only mobile applications, but also web systems on a much bigger scale. So you're building a system that's being accessed by 10 million people every single day. This thing is registering hundreds of millions of subscribers every single month. So being able to think through some of those challenges and understand how to build the systems to talk to each other and connect to each other was an interesting challenge. And then now, while I was doing architecture and I had understanding of how to do the interconnected nature between systems, then I started wondering, usually it's the people from business or the customer side who come and tell us, the customers have said they want this product or they want this mobile app. So I started wondering on the other side, and to be the one talking to the customers, or I'm with your ears in the market and finding out these are the problems. So that's how I got into product. I thought it would be interesting to explore what the market and the fit of the software and the technology that we're building and how relevant it is out here. Will users even like it? What exactly about the different things we're building will be useful to them? How to sell an idea, how to actually make money out of something. So that's how I got into product management, and up to now I'm still working in product management. Who knows for how long I'll be here for, but for now I'm enjoying it.
Thank you, Joy. So my next question will be, what are you working on now, and what's an exciting thing that makes you look forward to going to work every day?
Every day. I wouldn't say every day, and it's life, so some days are more difficult than others. But right now, as she said in the introduction, I'm working at Microsoft. So once I left Safaricom, when Microsoft opened the development center, and you saw in the video about Immobilis that they had talked about. So it's true, like a lot of companies are opening up offices in 2019. To individuals directly on LinkedIn and say, hi, we're opening an innovation hub or an office in Kenya. We've seen your skills, we've seen your experience, and we'd like you to be a part of that. So I hope you see how important it is to be good and excel at what you're doing, because when the opportunities come, people will actually reach out to you and ask you to come and join. If, I don't know if it'll be Tesla or X that's opening a company here next. So I hope you see the importance of that. So when Microsoft opened an office here, I joined as a product manager. Then I was not, AI hadn't made a big wave like it has now. So then I was working on Outlook Mobile, the email application, web. And then after a few years, then I moved to Copilot, the AI team. So right now I'm working on Copilot specifically. How many people have heard of agents in AI? So we're building an agent in Copilot, and it's very exciting. The world of AI is changing every week. You don't know which model will be released next week. You don't know which company will merge with another one tomorrow as you sleep. So it's very exciting for me to be able to work literally on technology that's emerging every single day. I like to think that in 10 years from now, when I'm giving my story, to say that I was actually working on these AI products and I made an impact to this technology when it was coming up. So for me, that's a very exciting thing that makes me look forward to going to work on most days. Let me leave it on most days. And it's also very exciting to have the challenge that I need to keep myself relevant, because for sure the things that I'm not using them right now in my day-to-day. I have to learn about new models. Stops. You might think that now you're done with high school, you're done with a lot of learning, but even as a professional, there are days where you'll have to wake up and spend some hours reading up on something so that you can keep yourself up to date on what's happening.
Okay, thank you, John. I've used Copilot.
Or ChatGPT. I'll take the competitor.
She will also take ChatGPT. How many use that? All of them.
Fantastic.
Okay, so the next question is, if you could advise your younger self while starting out her career, what would
just finish high school? And if I could advise myself, what I would tell myself. So for I thought I would want to get, or that everybody else expected me to get. So I was a bit disappointed. So if I could go back to my younger self, I would advise her that is fine. Sometimes life doesn't work out exactly. I would also advise my younger self to find a mentor. It can be someone you know, like the lecturers here. It can be someone in your community you've seen, interested in. And this person will be able to guide you and tell you what to pursue, and also just to help grow you. Like if they see you have a certain skill or a certain strength in something, they're able to nurture that out of you. So I would advise my younger self to get a mentor, and also to challenge myself and apply myself in the opportunities that I have. Like if I was at Immobilis and I had the chance to do a project, I would do a wonderful project, post it on GitHub, talk. Joining university, I already have a side job that can be giving me money. So I would apply myself to the opportunities that I get, and I would remain curious. Curiosity is a very invaluable skill, whether you're learning, whether you're working, in the things happening in your industry and even beyond, then you're sure to go very far.
Thank you very much, Joy. I just have already.
No, but one person, and that's a.
Just raise your hand. Wow.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge to all of you to go home, think about Maya, who can be able to mentor you and guide you.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Joy. So guys, any questions? Yes. 2 questions. Anyone? Ladies. Anyone with a question? Just raise your hand, we will bring.
This is a chance to take an opportunity. We've talked about taking opportunities and applying yourself.
Or you want Joy to ask you the questions? Okay.
Should I hold it for you?
Okay. My question is, what is the biggest challenge that you think you have faced as a woman in STEM?
That's a good question. As I think about it, let's get the second one and then I'll answer them together.
The second one, please raise your hand.
She's right here.
Okay. And I've noticed it's only ladies.
What's the next opportunity for someone like me?
It's that. So now you're in Immobilis, you're doing other courses. After this, you might get called to university in September, I suppose. And then you do your degree. So I already see you in one opportunity currently. You're doing a project at the end of the program that you're doing, and then you get into university. And in most universities, there's Google developer student clubs in almost every university in Kenya. You can join that. There's also usually a computer science or an IT club. Now there's a line of opportunities, and I hope you see it that way for you, like in your career. But if I was to just focus on like the next year for you, the project that you have here, network and also interact with as many of the students here, because these are going to be your peers. Like 20 years from now, you'll be saying, I know this person from Immobilis right now, they're a director at Visa or something like that. So these are also the people who will be your colleagues when you've made it in the industry or you've progressed a little bit. So network and get to know your colleagues here as well. the projects that you do, make sure you do a good job at that. And then by the time you're entering university, you're a bit ahead of everyone else who has not done the kind of training that you've done. I hope that answers you. All right. And then to the question on what has been my biggest challenge. What has been my biggest challenge as a woman in technology or in a tech career? I think for me, I would say not seeing other women or seeing similar women in these careers. I remember my computer science teacher in high school was female, and that was the first person that I ever saw who was working in computing, and she was a woman. Before that, I had only seen men. So that really motivated me. And she actually used to teach us for the project that we did in Form 4. She taught us a bit of coding, so I was very impressed by that this woman was able to do this, and she was like very excellent at what she was doing. And then when I went to university, my calculus professor, she was actually a professor, was also female. The one who was teaching, I think it was linear algebra, was also a woman. So I saw these examples in education, but now when I moved to the industry, I didn't get to see very many women who are excelling in the different fields that I was interested in or I was pursuing. So I would say that was a challenge, like moving into the professional space, not seeing enough examples of women in the spaces that I wanted to be in and pursuing the kind of things that I wanted to pursue. But the world has really changed a lot now from then, like in the past few years. And I hope that for you and for the ladies here, that you're able to see role models and people who are pursuing the kind of careers that you want to pursue, even if people say they're difficult or whichever impressions that they give you. I hope you're able to see role models and you're able to see these examples in society.
Very much, Joy. So the guys have said they will not ask questions. So guys, Joy will tell you how you can connect or contact her. So the people who are not on LinkedIn, please get on LinkedIn.
I think he has a question.
Oh, Ken has a question. Yeah, you can ask one, only one.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. Thanks so much, Joy. That was an excellent presentation, and it's very impressive to see what you're doing. So maybe just a question about what it's like to work at Microsoft, but also B, with a Copilot. What would you want young developers to know and understand, not only about the pace at which things are changing, but even how and why they should use it? And also because that's very exciting that development is happening in Kenya.
Yes. Yeah. So let me just pick up on that. It's very exciting. Most times when I say I'm working on Copilot, people don't believe that there's actual teams that are building. So there's so many teams right now. I think there's like 12 teams that build different parts of Copilot. And for me, it's extremely humbling, because before, this kind of things are things that you would see happening in San Francisco and New York and far, but right here in Nairobi, there's a team that's working on AI that is going to be released next year and is going to make waves in the world. So like the opportunity is there to each and every one of you. The world has really changed now, it's really opened up, and these things are accessible at whatever level, like wherever you are, you're able to access these opportunities. So that's that. Like to the young people and this kind of technologies, I would say use it. ChatGPT is free and free to use. 4.0 is free to use. So use it, interact with it every single day. You can start with just asking it basic things like what are the top 5 songs that are trending in Kenya today, and then move to more complex and like more reasoning things, like tell it, and then just try and see how AI can do reasoning and those kind of things. You could also use it as a help, even when you're learning. If you've not understood something that you've learned in class, go on and ask ChatGPT, explain to me like a 20-year-old or explain to me like a 15-year-old what this technology means, or make this sound like a series and help me understand that a bit better. So interact with the technology, get to learn for AI and agents, how they respond, what are the different ways. Use different ones, not only ChatGPT. You can use Claude, you can use all the other different applications available, and right now most of them are free. So use these things, and then even when it gets to the point where you're able to start working or applying yourself, you have a bit of knowledge. Because one of the most common questions that's asked in interviews is, what's the best, back then it was, what's the best app that you use and what are some of the features that you would change about it? But I'm guessing now in the world you'd be asked, what's your best AI assistant that you use and what would you change about it or what would you improve about it? And you only know that if you've been using this technology. So right now the world is open. These technologies are accessible to each and every one of us on our phones. use it, take advantage of it. You never know where the opportunities will come from. Yes, you had talked about. So this is a challenge. If you're not on LinkedIn, open a LinkedIn profile today, put in your name, put in the high school you went to, put in that you're an aspiring tech professional, and then connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with your lecturers, connect with your director, connect with the other members of staff, and start seeing what people are posting about LinkedIn on the different careers you're interested in, and get to know what it looks like possibly to be a professional out there. So connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is Joy, and I share about my experience and the things that I work on.
Thank you very much, Joy. She has said, try me, scan with your phone.
Yes,
Can you guys
scan that QR code, you go directly to the profile.
Who has been able to scan that? Oh yeah, so I can see even at the back you can scan. So you guys can scan that and connect with Joy B. Or the ones not able to do that, you can see her photo and her name. You can just go and search on LinkedIn, you'll find her there. So thank you very much, Joy. And yeah, it was really amazing. Let's clap for Joy. It was amazing to have her. And thank you to Ken. You've outsmarted me. I said one question and you did one A and B. Sawa. So guys, thank you. Before we go to our next speaker, I can see you guys mmeanza kusinzia. Some Jean. Yeah, Jean. Yeah, Thank you very much, Jean. Let's clap for Jean. And lecturers, please kindly control the crowd. Let's get everyone back inside, please. Lecturers, lecturers, tafadhali, let's get everyone back inside. Mr. Eric and the team. Yeah, Madam Faith, I can see you. Madam Glory, kindly downstairs. Let's get everyone back inside. For the interest of time, kindly let's be quick, let's be fast. We're going to invite our next speaker. I hope we are posting, guys, the second name. Yeah, so our next speaker is Teddy. He's a senior software engineer and entrepreneur. He's the co-founder of inflectionstudio.io. He also has a personal website, which is that one, it's yene.com. So Teddy is a senior software developer and co-founder of Inflection Studio in tech. He has built and architected systems that drive real business. Product engineer at heart. Teddy is passionate about leveraging technology to transform lives and create innovative solutions. Guys, let's please put our hands together for Teddy. Okay, thank you very much. Welcome.
I'd like to start with a saying. I don't know if some of you have heard this, but there's a saying that says, in times of a gold rush, it means is that when everyone is focused on chasing a big opportunity, even if it means not directly participating in the gold rush itself. So at the moment, everybody is looking to build tech products, but I believe that we are the ones who are selling shovels. By shovels, I mean our skills. So the skills that we have as maybe software engineers, product managers, and designers, I think this is the shovels that we are currently at, because we are at an inflection point in terms of the way the world is going, and the world is shifting towards technology. The world has been shifting towards that for the longest time, for about the last couple of years. So as tech workers, we are selling the shovels. So a bit of a background about myself. I'm Teddy Ngene. I am a software engineer at heart. I have been a software engineer for the last 7 years. I'm the co-founder of Inflection Studio. Somebody there asked you. We build products for different businesses, and we partner with different companies. I'll highlight some of the products that we've built after this. Apart from that, a background about myself is I started programming in 2017 in campus. So I started with C, but I didn't really get C. So I shifted to PHP. At the time, I was working on Laravel. I've always had an interest in computers and programming since I was a kid. So I started programming, but I knew I wanted to be in tech at some point in high school. So I started doing programming. I went to Technical University of Kenya, which is in Haile Selassie. So at the time, there was a big strike. I don't know if lecturers are still striking now, but there was a big strike at the time. So we were out of school for like a year or maybe close to a year. So within that period, I decided, let me teach myself programming. So we didn't have, the internet penetration for Wi-Fi wasn't as much as it is today. So I used to go to the library at Kenya National Library Service and download lots of videos for programming. So these were Laravel videos. At the time, I didn't know what it was about, but I just downloaded the videos and went home and did the coding myself. I didn't know what was happening. I just followed the tutorial. So what the guy on YouTube was saying, I implemented as much as I didn't really grasp what he was doing. Yeah, so that's how I started my programming journey. So I was in second year at the time. So fast forward to a year later, I built my dad's website with Laravel with the knowledge that I had gained. So I was able to implement a simple website in Laravel, PHP. I did the full end-to-end deployment, development, deployment, getting to buy a domain. I'm pretty sure you'll also learn how to do the deployments yourself with the program that Immobilis is offering. So that was Laravel, PHP. So fast forward to a year later, as I was finishing third year, I got an opportunity to work at a product development agency called Skytech at the time. So I joined as a software engineer, intern. Basically, I was interning. They were just giving me a stipend, but it was a good opportunity. So I worked there for 2 years, but then I shifted to Django. I'm pretty sure all of you, I'm not sure. I think in the program I saw that you do take Django as a course or Python. So up to date, I'm still doing Django, and I get to show you some of the projects that we are building with Django, and they are projects that are scaled to millions of people. So yeah, so I moved to Sky. I worked there for 2.5 years until my graduation. And then shortly after my graduation, I got another job at a startup called Letter.ai. I joined as a mid software engineer. So by then, they were doing end-to-end delivery. So order fulfillment, it's still there. So the company is still operational, it's in Westlands. But it was a short stint of 5 months, sorry. Then luckily, towards the end of 2021, I managed to get a job at a company called YoYo Wallet. YoYo Wallet is a fintech company. So what we do is we do loyalty and e-commerce and payments. So for big brands in the UK, so we operate in 11 territories. So those territories are across Europe and US. So that's where I'm at today. I'm still there as much as I've co-founded the Inflection Studio. It's a new company, less than 6 months old, so it's a baby, but you're building it. So the purpose of this is to just some of the challenges that I've faced in my journey as a software engineer. And so I'll divide it into 2 sections, building resilient systems, software engineer, the technical aspect of it, and then I'll go into the non-technical, which will be the major part of it. I think if you can just highlight some of the, when you buy something. So it's all written in Python. And we are maintaining the product. So there are people who say that Python, 8 million people. It has about 8 million customers using it monthly. So it's a huge product. So the challenge with building systems like this is you have to understand the business impact, first of all. As software engineers, a lot of people focus on the code. They want to prove that I can write the best code, I can write, a fancy function that does this and this. But as a software engineer, you have to ask yourself, what business impact am I going to be offering to the partners that I work with? So before you start your first line of code, that's the first question you have to ask yourself. What business impact am I going to drive? So I've learned a lot from working with such a huge product. And most of the time, they are the non-technical bits that really matter. So things like compliance, when you get to work with systems that are in different territories or in different countries, you have to also consider the compliance aspect of it. How do you deal with data protection? How do you design your system to deal with data protection? How do you also deal with navigating such managers? How do you deal with the legal aspects or the business owner? Some of the challenges that you have to consider. At the same time, before you start any project, I would advise you do planning. A lot of planning is always involved when you're starting to build out your product. So I'm pretty sure all of you have, or you've been told you're starting to plan your project, whether it's a very simple website, a very simple blog. Sometimes what the details. So sometimes you have to sit down with the different. How many of you have seen Kai and Karo? Kai and Karo, or no Caliph Cairo. Yeah, so this is our product as Inflection Studio. We've also done Jetman, Jetman Global. It's also another one. So these are real-life projects that we are currently working on and continue to maintain. We also have, so this is in the aviation space. We also have, they're in different products, so you can quickly gloss over them, and then we'll continue from there. So when you're in your own free time, you can just have a look at them. We have hotels. I'll leave a full list of the products that we are working on and continue to maintain. So this is hotels. So what I can say is that I've been involved in the development of all these products on a personal capacity. And I'll reiterate what my previous speaker mentioned before. So if you want to, what does it take to be able to come up with such products and to be at the top of your game? There are several factors that have really helped me along the way. And the number one is staying curious. You have to stay ahead of the curve. They say you have to have skin in the game. So, and how do you stay ahead of the curve? There are several ways that have personally helped me. One of them is I'm very curious in my reading. I read a lot and subscribe to different newsletters. I watch a lot of videos. You have to really, you have to stay ahead of what's happening, the trends that are happening, to be able to identify what's the next big thing. At the moment, we have different products. We have AI. We are in the age of AI at the moment. So I think I can just ask, I don't expect the newly finished high school students to answer this, but maybe the more advanced students. How many of you have actually interacted with the Open API? Not calling ChatGPT, but actually creating an account with OpenAI and getting an API key and interacting with it. Is there anyone? Yeah. So, this is something that I saw earlier on Twitter this week, and it was part of the hiring process for OpenAI. They ask you, have you ever interacted with our API? You can't say you're interested in a technology if you don't get your hands dirty. If you want to be a successful coder, you have to be, or a successful programmer, you have to actually get your hands dirty. Go and use the tool. That HTML code that's problematic, that Python code that's giving you nightmares, you're not able to sleep. You have to try different things, but not rely on ChatGPT. At the beginning of my career, we didn't have ChatGPT. So nowadays, people I'm also a victim. I'm not going to deny, but a lot of people actually are too dependent on ChatGPT for coding. But you have to actually, get your hands in the mud to use the actual tools to fail. You have to learn to fail and to actually understand the fundamentals of the programming language that you're using and the concepts that you're trying to achieve. So another thing I would say, I'll reiterate this, is reading. You have to be very, to search for knowledge, be a knowledge seeker. I remember at my first company, they used to pay for courses for us when I was interning. Maybe they used to pay for one account, and then we used to share the credentials so that everybody will learn a new concept or a new skill. Of course, you don't have to get a paid course, but you're lucky enough that you're young enough to start. Your parents have paid for you at Immobilis, and that's you should count your lucky stars, because I never got to go to Immobilis. The only time I started coding was my second year in campus. I didn't do computer science. So you're very lucky that you're learning this at your formative years, as you're beginning to discover what you really want. So you're very lucky in that regard. So when it comes to the non-technical aspects of software development, I would say what has really helped me a lot is the soft skills. So of course there's the technical bit. There's the technical bits of software engineering where you have to understand the code. But mostly I've seen a huge number of layoffs. So people have been fired at my job. But the number one thing that really helps you to stick out is your soft skills. How do you relate with your colleagues? A lot of people are very difficult to work with sometimes. And you find that when companies are deciding who they're going to cut off, they start with the problematic people. It doesn't matter how good of a software engineer you are, how good of a designer you are, but if you can't work with people and communicate your ideas well enough with people, you're going to face the axe when companies are doing those layoffs. Your communication, how can you articulate for non-technical people to understand? So one of the things that helped me was writing. I started by writing. I still write to this day, but not as much as I used to. So there's a blog section on my website. Once you visit it, you'll see I used to write articles on Laravel, PHP, so that people can you put yourself out there, basically. So as a result of that, that's how I got my job at an international company. So they reached out to me because they saw my writing. So if you you put yourself out there, people are going to notice you eventually. And if you're good at what you do at your craft and you hone it very well, people are going to eventually notice. So I'll take questions after this, but this is my website. You can visit it at your own free time. You'll see some of the projects that I've worked with and my technology stack. You'll see my social media, and you'll be able to reach out. But as a closing word, I would urge you to listen to what your teachers are telling you. There's a lot of opportunities out here, even for junior developers. Lots of opportunities. You can employ yourself. You can start your own business. So you have to actually put yourself out there, as I said, and you have skin in the game. That's my word of encouragement for today. So yeah, I think after this, you can have a look at all the projects. I'll also leave a list of resources that I use, the newsletters that I subscribe to, my blog posts, my socials, if you'd like to reach out. Yeah, so I think I'll take a few questions.
Okay.
According to the survey from Stack Overflow 2024, there's a big emphasis on financial technology. So I was asking, because of the things that you're doing, there's a lot of product-based programming. And I know that the main issues that we have, apart from doing the code, downloading the Python libraries and all of that, what are the main fundamentals in your drive for consumerism, like to the experience of the user?
Do you mean in terms of the user centricity or?
Yes, like the availability, how, like, because to make these products survive, you must have the demand. I was asking, like, do you put yourself in the picture of the user, how he's going to use them, the frequency?
Yeah, of course. As a product engineer, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the user. Try to, as much as you have to also deal with marketing people. For me, I'm speaking I'll speak as an engineer, but from a marketing point of view, there's a lot of surveys that you have to do to be able to identify the challenges that you want to face. From a design, because the software development cycle involves a lot of steps. So as a designer as well, you will have to deal with designers. I know some of you will not be programmers, you'll be designers. So it's the work of the product and design teams to identify that there's a gap, there's an actual gap that needs to be solved in the market for you to solve. Does that answer your question? Is it?
Yeah, he has said yes.
Okay.
Okay, and one last question. Okay.
Another one.
AI is getting better every day, so that the chances that it's going to take our tech jobs like software development?
That's a good question. In my opinion, no, I wouldn't say that AI is going to take our job. With every phase in life, with all the stages in life, that the revolutions that we've gone through in life, we've always had tools that drive that make our work easier. For me, I think AI is just a tool like any other, like fire, just like we invented fire, like we invented the wheel. Ultimately, it makes our life easier. But I don't think AI is going to take our jobs as software engineers. I don't know if you're on Twitter or you follow the online spaces, but there's a company, a few months ago, they decided that they're going to replace all their customer support agents with an AI tool. But recently, they discovered that AI doesn't have that human element. So they've decided to rehire their customer support team, but use AI as a tool to help in maybe crafting some responses. So even as an engineer, I use AI as a tool, but I don't see it replacing my job. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Teddy. So I think AI is just an enabler. Yeah, it's not here to take your job unless it's smarter than you. So we have one last question here.
Hi. My first question is, what's your salary? And the second question is, like, what's your environment like working in creating the websites and stuff? Like, could you recommend us as programmers to work there, or does it have its disadvantages? So, yeah.
Thank you. So Teddy, you can start with what's your salary?
It's a decent salary. No, I don't think I'm in a position to state my salary.
Yeah, just to know it's in dollars.
Yes, it is. It's a mixture of both because for the company I work for, but locally for the local projects that we do, it's in Kenya shillings. So it's a mixture of both. But there are lots of opportunities, I would say. So, yeah, and there are opportunities to be made. All I can say is that find a mentor. At my first job, I had a mentor who's still my mentor to this day. So as much as we work in different companies, there are people who actually hold your hand and to guide you in the right way, not just technically, but to navigate life. So you can have more than one mentor, maybe one, a technical one, another one who helps you to navigate life. So I would say that there's a lot of opportunities to be made. On your second question, yes, as I said, this is a career that you can easily employ yourself. For me, it's taken a long time. So Inflection is a new company, relatively new. So I was freelancing as much as I'm working remotely. I was freelancing for a long time. We co-founded it with my brother, who's also a software engineer. But it took a long time because you have to build your reputation. Your reputation precedes you. So most of our clients come through referrals. So I would say there are challenges, yes, but it also takes time and skill. But it's fun. To answer your question, it is. I would recommend you guys to come and join us. Even when you have opportunities, if you're hiring at the moment, we are still building it, but we also mentor young people. So it's a field that we can. I'm pretty sure I'll collaborate with some of you, but it's an exciting opportunity. I can show you a list of people who. I say that tech is an equalizer. It doesn't matter which background you come from or whether you're rich or you're poor. As long as you have the skills, there are lots of opportunities to be made. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Teddy. Oh.
Okay, one final.
Okay. One. No, just one.
Thanks, Susan. Thanks for the great presentation, Teddy. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you what car you drive or which dollars you make. But my question was around what you mentioned, which is extremely important, the soft skills, working with people. What would you encourage young people to do or understand to cultivate those skills? What does it actually mean to be good at working with people or communication skills? That's one. But also the other part of the question was around, I think he asked a good question about not necessarily your salary scale, but I think even for some of these young developers who want to be able to pitch their services, how much would one charge for a website? So maybe you can share with them what they should consider in proposing to a client, what they should pay.
Exactly. Okay, so I'll start with the first one, the soft skills. So for the soft skills, what does it take to work with people? It takes for you to have an open mind. Ego is the enemy, I would say. A lot of people are so afraid of reaching out for help, especially when you're starting out in your career. For me, when I started out, I used to ask lots of questions with the tough questions. They may seem silly questions, but you have to ask, how does Git work? Teach others how to mentor other people. Be approachable. So somebody can say, Ted is a great engineer. I can approach him to help me with this solution. Another one is the communication. Communication is very important, especially for me with my experience with working remotely and working with cross-cultural teams. You have to understand that every person is different, because you might work with a person from a different culture, different nationality. So try to understand the different people that you're working with, where they are coming from, and how to say certain words, how to deal with them, and to be reliable. At the end of the day, at whatever job that you're doing, you have to be reliable. That's what makes you stand out. Can people count on you to come through? Maybe if it's fixing a bug in production, so that's it. The other part B of your question. I won't mention the salary, but how do we quote? So for us, I'll share a book that I read with Claire. So it's a book that really helped me with determining the price point that you have to do when you're pricing your products and your services. It all depends on a few factors like complexity. Number one being complexity. How complex is the project? Doesn't matter if this person tells you, "Oh, I don't have the budget." It's all about the complexity of the product. Sometimes when I started out, yes, it was okay for me to take maybe lower fees, but then as you become an expert, or as you hone your skills better, you also have to demand the price that you're charging. So there's a few factors. The complexity, you have to write a proposal that will justify the price that you're asking for. So, for example, I'll take a basic website, maybe like this, a portfolio website. So you have to look at the features. What are the features? What are the different use cases? Do they need a CMS? Do they need a design, a custom design? Or will you take a template? What is the effort that's required for you to build that product? Another one is the costs. You have to justify the costs involved in developing a product. So as you know, products they can be expensive, especially complex products. So the server cost. I'll give an example of one of the biggest billing item we have at the SaaS company is AWS cost. So we pay a lot of fees. If you're developing a product and you'll be hosting it, you'll find that you have to project the cost based on the usage of the product. So for us, we do pay a huge amount of money, close to I would say $150,000 a year in cloud cost. So which is very, very expensive. So as you're pricing your products, you have to also be able to project and revise this cost. Of course, at the beginning, they won't be as expensive, but if you're going to maintain a working relationship with the brands that you work with, every year you have to review this cost. If you're going to have long-term contracts with your businesses, at the end of the day, you don't want to incur those costs by yourself. It's going to be loss-making. I learned that the hard way with previous clients. So they used to tell me, "Oh, pay for it, I'll pay you back." but then you end up incurring a huge loss on your business and you're not able to pay your own bills. So look at the ancillary services. They're called ancillary services, the supporting services that you have, the cloud, the hosting. How much does it take to pay your engineers as well? You know, how long will it take? So you justify everything with a well-written proposal that will justify how much you're going to be charging for these clients, for these services. So more often than not, you find that businesses are actually willing to pay this money. They're actually willing, as long as you prove that you have a track record. So they're more often than not, as long as you can justify your cost, they're willing to pay. Yeah. So don't be afraid to quote a huge figure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Teddy. Let's clap for him. Thank you. Okay, thank you. You've clapped for him. Clap again. Before that, I want to invite so we'll have Joy B, Teddy, and Grace. So kindly, if you can come to the stage, then we'll have our MD and Edna. I've seen Edna somewhere, so Edna, please come. Yeah. So we have some goodies for you. Okay, thank you, Joy. Thank you, Ken. Okay, you will just stand there. We'll have a group photo. Then the next one is Edna, Teddy. Teddy, yes. Thank you, Teddy. Thank you, Edna. Then we can have. Okay, we can have the last one to Grace. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Now we are going to have a group photo. Edna, join the team. Yes, let's. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. You can have your seats. Thank you. Hope you're tweeting or it's Xing. So, guys, let's welcome the next speaker. So we are going to invite Grace Wambui. I think you've already seen her. So Grace Wambui is a talent acquisition and onboarding expert, passionate about connecting top professionals with leading organizations across East Africa. As the head of talent and career growth at GAP Recruitment Services Limited, she has successfully interviewed, guys, the word is interviewed, over 1,000 candidates. Let's clap for Grace. Yeah, so beyond recruitment, Grace and retention, her expertise has led to a 20% increase in stakeholder satisfaction through effective recruitment campaigns and employer engagement strategies. Grace also holds a master's in communication studies from Kisii University and a bachelor's in journalism and mass communication from Mount Kenya University, combining her media background with recruitment expertise to empower professionals and businesses through strategic talent acquisition and career growth. So today, Grace has also come with a colleague. So I will invite both of them. Is it you or, yeah, I will invite both of them, and her colleague is Stephen Kimani, who is a Chief Momentum Officer. So guys, welcome on stage. Let's clap for them, please. Welcome, Grace.
Thank you.
Good morning. Where's your energy? Good morning. Okay.
Hello guys. You well? Mko fiti? Kwani saa 6 imefika? Naona energies zinafanya ile kitu. Aya, let's ask a few questions. By the end of this session, there is something to figure out together. Sindio? Na kama hujamsalimia the entire day, this is your opportunity. Sindio? Na kama ulikuwa unataka kuomba namba pia. This is your opportunity right here. Uko na partner? Right? Aya, Grace will take you through a brief presentation to understand what we do as a recruitment company. And then once I'm back, we will go through a few things. One of the questions that I've been asking myself a lot is, how do people get to the level of where B is? How many people are impressed by what B is doing? How many? If you're not impressed, when you hate our life. How do people get there? And for the last few months, this has been a question in my mind. How do people get to the top of the industry? And being that I work in recruitment, we interact with people like B, but also we interact with people on the other end. When you're on a kucha interview, and it's not impressive. So you wonder, what's the difference? Ni nini iko hapa katikati? And when I come back, that's what I want us to talk about. But for now, ask your partner, what are you learning? What are you learning? Amekujibu? Amekupea answer? Aya, beautiful. I will come around and take a few answers. So answer umepewa, keep it in mind. Hey, mnasoma vitu mingi. Thank you very much. At now, let's give Grace an opportunity, and then I'll come back and we will continue with this conversation. Sindio? Kama unanisikia sema, kwa mademu wenye wananisikia sema hi. Kwa maboy wenye wananisikia sema Thank you, sir. Tutulie. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Stephen. You've asked Ted how much he's earning, but I want to return to sender. How much do you want to earn? I think Stephen will go around, perhaps take a few, some of the answers, then we'll take it up from there.
Actually, interesting. How much would you like to earn? Mkuu, namba gani inacheza kwa kichwa? Say any number.
500,000 per month.
500K a month. Makofi kwake. Ted. Ted, 500,000 a month. Tuko sawa? Are we still on track? Yeah. Ako fiti? It's possible. Beautiful. Good one. Who else? Yes?
Niko na swali. It's not about, okay, kiasi. Unatuambia 500,000. There are people driving Lexus, the big type. They're driving 20 million car type. They're living in 120 million house and they're doing all that. So kituambia 500,000. So umeajiriwa. Kuna mwenye chat GPT. Those people are earning billions. So will we just be working for them? Now me, I want to maybe I want to be earning profits of maybe 50 million. Na sisi mnatuambia.
I get where you're going. All right, we have entrepreneurs in the building. Sindio? How many entrepreneurs do we have? If you identify as an entrepreneur, you want to build a product, you want to drive a lane. Yes. Please.
$1,500. Okay.
What? Mwalimu wa math? mwalimu wa math, hiyo inakuja ngapi? $1,500. Yeah, beautiful. Let me take another lady from this side. Let me. Ebu salimia huyo. Oh my Lord, hata nimemaliza hii maneno. Grace, you can take it over.
Wow, that is inspiring. Why without a limit, organizations are looking for people like you. So who are you? Organizations, people who are tech savvy and they can come up with technology. That can be the codes that you coming up with. It can be software that you coming up with to solve the organizational problems. So start with why. Why are you in this industry? What void do you want to fill? What pain points does the organization have that you want to respond with the code that you write in, with the softwares that you're coming up with, whether it's the ERP systems? That is what we're here to refine. So I'm going to talk to you today about the art of assessing tech talent, because that is what we do on a daily basis. And some of the key things that stand out, some of the things that you need to polish even as you're learning, because I believe you're in the stage of learning. After here, you're probably going to take up a degree, or even going to seek employment right after this 4-month course. If it's 4 or 2-month course, you're going to seek employment because you don't have to go through a 4-year degree if you can start earning as early as now. So some of the skills that employers are always looking for that might be somewhat lacking when it comes to the tech people is problem-solving abilities. Everyone wants to know, how does person fill the gaps that are in our employer recruitment process? And perhaps a question that she might be asked, how will your skills? So when it comes to other skills that employers look for, that might include communication skills. I've interacted with over 1,000 candidates, and specifically when it comes to the tech people, one skill that they fall short in, not all of them, of course, it's the communication skills. On paper, you can find a candidate is very good in various languages. And of course, I don't mean English, Swahili, I mean the technical languages. But give that person an opportunity, and they will not even explain how their skills are going to be of value to the company. So even as you're learning, even as you're polishing your skills, make sure on this other side, you're also polishing your communication skills. Because as Ted mentioned, it's one of the soft skills. And if you're not learning how to communicate, what good is that code that you're writing? What is the beauty of having a beautiful software that can even predict the weather if you cannot learn to communicate that code and secure funding or even sell it to a potential user or employer? So make sure even as you're learning, polish on your problem-solving abilities, your communication and collaboration. And then lastly, make sure you have attention to detail. You know more than I do that when it comes to coding or software development or anything tech, attention to detail is very key. I mean, you're investing a lot of money just coming up with the code that you want to sell to us. So if you make a slight mistake, it can completely alter the quality of software you come up with, or it can even have some security issues, which is not the point of the code that you want to write. So make sure you're very, very attentive to detail. Make sure that you're giving 100% in every code that you write in any software that you're coming up with, or even in the little details. It doesn't have to be code. Whatever it is that you're doing, make sure you're giving it 100%. So I'll take you through the recruitment process. I believe at one point in time, if you want to earn those salaries, you're going to interact with someone like me. And by someone like me, I mean it's either a recruiter or the human resource of the company that you want to work for. So what are some of the things they are looking at? So the first thing is your resume. How many of you have CVs ready? Like if I was hiring right now and I want to take 2 software developers, how many have CVs ready? Just Joy and Ted. This is the time to start working on your something to sell. That passion that you have, whether it's in the languages, Django, Python, PHP, all those are things you can sell in your CV. You have probably worked on several projects, either in class or you're about to do projects. Those are things you need to include in your CV. Include the projects that you have taken or you're open to undertaking and how they are going to be of value to whoever is viewing your CV. Because you might be great in person. I've met a lot of great people here, but I don't know you personally. So at the point of contact, what I'm seeing is your resume. Does it speak well of you? Is it compelling enough that I really, really want to meet this person? So work on your CV. Make sure it captures all your details. That is your academics, your passion in terms of the languages you're proficient in, some of the projects that you've worked on, whether it's as an individual or as a class, and how they can be of benefit to the employer. After the resume screening, there's another process. Kuna mtu analala pale? Just joking. So the next stage after resume screening is interview. Has been involved in an interview at one point in life, whether it's TED, whether it's Joy, and they were not the only candidates being interviewed. I believe there are several people that were being interviewed for that role. We've had several roles that we have interviewed for when it comes to software development. And when you when you post that role, within 24 hours, you can get up to 500 applications from people from all walks of life. So what will set you apart from the other? What will make me choose candidate A over candidate B? It's how you communicate. If you're invited to an interview, make sure that you're well prepared, articulate, and not in a technical way, because the technical guys have a way of communicating that to the layman it can be a bit confusing. So make sure you're always communicating in a very clear and concise way. Show me, how do your skills bring value to my company? And by my company, I don't mean the one I represent right now. It could be Microsoft, it could be Google, it could be Safaricom. How will it be of value if you're onboarded right now? So make sure your resume captures that. And also try to prepare with your friends. Talk in front of the mirror, try to rehearse so that you can polish up your communication skills. Because as indicated by the previous speakers, communication skills are very, very important when it comes to this particular field. Okay, so the last bit, will come to what you can do to improve on your skills. What you can do, one, is join these communities. We've been to several networking events for tech people, specifically for tech people. So make sure that you have joined these communities. Make sure that you're networking. Joy will tell you that some of these jobs by big companies, they are not necessarily advertised. It's through networking. People will reach out to Joy. They'll be like, I'm looking for a software developer. Kindly, from your network, give me recommendations. How will she give you as a recommendation when she does not even know you? So make sure as you join in these forums, network with the key people in the industry. As Ted has indicated, it's never too early to open up a profile on LinkedIn. It's never too early to start posting. It's never too early to start commenting and interacting with like-minded people in the tech industry. So this is your opportunity. Make sure every single event that you attend, you live with contacts. How many people have taken their contacts so far? Or how many people intend on taking their contacts? Yeah, several. So that is the point. Make sure you're networking. Na si networking in the sense of at Joy, nasikia unafanya kazi Microsoft, so nitafutie kazi yoyote hapo. Not that kind of networking. It's networking in the sense of building meaningful connections. Be like, hi Joy, I'm graduating in August. So far, I have learned skill A, B, C, D. Kindly give me some indication or direction as to where my career is going to go. And if you have people in your networks that you can link me up with, I will appreciate. And then you leave your CV there, you've attached it on LinkedIn, and leave a message with her. That is networking. Put yourself out there and don't be afraid to ever ask questions, as stupid as you think they are. They could be the deal breaker. So make sure you're asking the right questions and don't be afraid to ever say that you do not know. So even as you complete your courses here, whether you want to advance into seeking employment directly, or you want to advance into go to a university to take up a degree course, make sure you have the right networks. Make sure you're curious enough, because what you're probably learning here today is relevant right now. But next year or a year from now, it will not be relevant. So you have to be curious. You have to keep on polishing your skills so that even as you seek employment, your skills are up to date. So as I invite my colleague back to stage, I will leave you with one parting shot. Every single tech person we know, whether it's Elon Musk, whether it's Mark Zuckerberg, or whoever can come to your mind right now, or whoever you think has the best tech or softwares out there, they all started by making mistakes. No one started today and then by tomorrow they were earning billions or millions. They started from somewhere, made mistakes, and kept learning from it. So if you fail your exams today, you might be the next Mark Zuckerberg.
Thank you very much, Grace. Makofi kwake tena vizuri. Yes, so Grace has summarized in a big part what would take for you to go through her, because most of the time you're going to go through her or someone like her for you to land into the spaces that you want to land into. I want to wrap this up in about 5 or so minutes, and I want us to have a bit of an interactive session. Unakumbuka ule beshte ulikuwa na yeye? Unakumbuka ule beshte ulikuwa na yeye? Question ya kwanza ulimuuliza ni what are you learning? Si ndio? Unakumbuka ama hamkuuliza hiyo, mliongea mambo yenyu? Yes, so the first question is, what are you learning? And why am I asking this? The world that we are in today, and you are tech people, you are way smarter than I am. I am not a tech person, I come from a marketing background. But I also have been impacted by things you're doing. An example is, like Ted, I started with writing. And writing was so good because I'm just working in the house. I have had these agencies, kama venye na work na wase huko Maju. I had some agencies I was working with. And I'm just working and it was beautiful. And then one day we wake up and then kuna kijana anaitwa Sam Altman. Alikuwa tu ametulia mahali anatengeneza maneno. Sam Altman ni nani? Mbona mnakaa ni kama hamjui Sam Altman ni nani? You know who Sam Altman is? Oh, hey, ningeshangaa we. Yes, so Sam Altman drops ChatGPT like that. Most of the clients who we were working with are like, oh, so unaweza unda hii article na prompt hapa. Hawa jamaa tumemploy Kenya wanafanyia kazi gani? And that's how I lost my gigs like that. And it was. So once you go, tech does that thing to you, you have to keep learning and keep thinking, what is the next thing I need to do? So one, the question of learning, every day you should be asking yourself, what is it that I'm learning? Because you might wake up, hata ule aliuliza pale software engineers, what's going on to them? Sindio? You are worried whether you're going to lose your job. Probably, and where is the MC? The MC summarized your answer after Ted answered and said something very interesting. She said, it's not going to replace you unless, acha nisikia nani alikuwa anasikiza, unless it is smarter than you, right? And probably in computation and such things, it might be smarter than you. But the reason you need to keep learning is for the second point I want to tell you, which is become a solution provider. The entire reason why we have a market that exists is because people want solutions to their problems. So like my friend here who is thinking of building this big tech firm that doesn't limit him, and the lady back there in terms of earning, then the question is, how big of a problem are you solving, right? It can't, those resources don't land on your laps. They're 500,000. You're not just given as a token of goodwill. They're like, hey, Bara, we like you, man. Hey, Shikai 500, wendo jibambe. No, it doesn't happen like that. There has to be value, and for there to be value, there has to be a problem solved. So then the way you should be thinking about yourself and the skills that you're getting is, how are these skills going to be a solution somewhere? Ted said a very good thing. When he started, he made a website for his father, if I was listening right. And that's him thinking solution. Nimesoma hapa Lavarel kidogo, where is a problem I can apply this and become a solution? Even for you, what you are learning right now, stop thinking about it as, hii ni code fulani niko nayo. It's a tool. How can I use what I have today to solve a problem for someone today? And that's how you start building your portfolio. But ukikaa ungoje hadi kwenye utaitiwa job, ama ungoje hadi kwenye serikali italeta plan ya kutuemploy sisi kama wana youth, it is never going to happen. So, first, learn every day. 2, solution oriented. Anything you have for you right now is going to solve a problem for someone else. Figure out how to do that. The third thing, which comes in part A and part B, then I finish, is packaging and positioning. And this is the part that differentiates someone who has the same skills, they are struggling. It is because of something called packaging and market. But I know all of you are techies, so you know about Prime. Sindio? And the third one is Coca-Cola. Sindio? All these 3 products sell essentially the same thing, carbonated water. Essentially the same thing. But the way they are positioned in the market is what is different. Sindio? Red Bull gives you wings. Sindio? If you kuna mtu ashaijaribu kukunywa akaruka kutoka kwa rooftop. Anyway, don't mind my dry jokes, bana. It's But that's positioning. Essentially, you're drinking the same thing. Red Bull and Monster is essentially the same thing, but they are positioned differently in the market, and they seem like different products. So the same way for you, all of you can learn Django or Python or whatever language you want to learn, but the way you package yours and the way she packages hers is totally different. And that is what is going to give you a differentiation in the market. And if you know how to communicate that, that's what is going to put you in positions that are going to elevate you and get to the levels that you're dreaming about. Okay? It just doesn't happen by accident. You have to think about, how am I communicating? How am I packaging myself? Yake the entire time anaongea, si ndio? Mmekuwa mkiangalia. How many people here have a portfolio? Part of the packaging. That's part of communicating. This is what I bring to the market. Think of yourself. If you are a soft, how many have ever heard of that word? Molo. You come from Molo. Hey. Leo iko na curveballs on curveballs. Pleasure to meet you. Yes, so I come from a place called Molo. In Molo, we are very good at the potatoes. Mlipeleka Valentine's mahali kula chipo. Probably ilitoka mahali na huko kwetu. If I take my skill back in Molo and I want to do marketing for businesses that are in Molo, and I want to speak in churches and in schools that are in Molo, compare that with now that I'm in Nairobi. I'm speaking to companies in Nairobi. I am marketing for companies in Nairobi. Of those 2 places, where am I likely to make something worth of my skill? Yes? Nairobi, sindio? If you have a skill, then you want to come to a market like Nairobi, because here, people have the resources to pay you to do the things that you want to do. And that is what positioning is. So if I package myself very well, and I go to a small church in Molo, I tell them, hey, I want to speak to your chama ya wazee, and I want us to talk about a few things. They would tell me, I think tunaweza kutafutia 2,500 hapa, ukuje utuongeleshe, si ndio? Because that's what they have. If I come here and I go to CITAM, and we have the same conversation, Bwana asifiwe. Because I'm finishing, guys. Wacha tu nimalize. If I go to CITAM, and we have the same conversation, unadhani itakuwa 2,500? So it will be a different number. And that is what positioning is. So the 4 things I want you to think about as you're going. 1, what are you learning on a daily basis? Because this gives you the ability to solve many problems. So then you ask yourself, what is the solution I'm providing today? So what is the solution that I have and who can I give it to? And the 3rd thing, how am I packaging myself in terms of CVs, online, LinkedIn, GitHub portfolios, your own portfolio? How are you packaging that? And 3, how are you positioning yourself? Grace finished by saying, are you in tech communities in this country? Wase wenye wanakutana hackathons, those and the challenge we have, the people who like working remotely, is unataka tu kukaa kwa nyumba the entire day, si ndio? Ukisikia kuna ka meet up mahali uko like, I don't like people, man, it's too peoply. No. Go out, be in those communities, interact with people as you're starting out, because that's where you understand how to position yourself. Tumepatana hadi hapo? Asanteni sana, mkuwe na siku njema.
Ama, it wasn't a question. You have a question? Oh, okay. So those were our last speakers. Joy. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. So I know mmechoka kuketi. We can have a icebreaker before. There is a question. Oh, questions. Oh, you're ready for them? Okay. So just raise your hand. Claire, you can give them them. It's not working. Okay, we will only take 3. One question, not one ABC.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
My question is, when I've interacted with some people who have gone on interviews and I've heard about their stories, and one very tricky question that I hear is, what do you expect in your pay? Like the recruiter or the employer anaweza kuuliza, wewe una expect ulipwe aje? So sometimes it's tricky because unaweza overquote, unaweza underquote, you don't know their budget, and what's the first move? If I'm good at what I do, nimemaliza, for example, at Immobilis, and you've said you can seek employment directly, what's the first move? Nimemaliza, and then, yeah.
So who will take that one? Steve, Chris? Okay.
Okay, so to respond to that question, the first step is making sure that you have your resume ready. Work on that even as you continue training. Have your portfolio. If you have a GitHub account, like put everything in your resume, and then now start sending out applications. Should you be invited for an interview? Yes, that question comes up very often because we want to test if you know the value you bring into the table. If you have come up with a code that you have invested hours and hours in it, and then I ask you what's your salary expectation, you say 50,000. Don't you think you're underselling yourself? Now those numbers that you quoted earlier, those are the salary expectations you need to give. Make sure you have done your research well prior to an interview, because you could be interviewing for a role ya 50K, now umekuja kuquote 500,000. of course you won't get that job. So make sure if you've been invited for an interview, whether it's Microsoft, Google, whichever company, to have a feel about their salary structure, and then you quote within that range. So give a range, it doesn't have to be specific. If it's within 200 to 300, give that, so that you can leave some room for negotiation.
Just to see if I can help you a little more in terms of the research. For any interview that you're ever going to be called to, make sure you research that company kabisa, the much you can, okay? And you can even reach out to these people on LinkedIn. That's why LinkedIn is an important thing. If you get called for an interview at a certain company, and you have someone who you've already connected with on LinkedIn, or you can connect with someone, you can literally just ask them, hey, a junior developer kwa hii kampuni yenyu ana make about how much. Most of the people are generous enough to give you this type of information, so that when you're walking in, you're well prepared. Kuna sites kama Glassdoor that rank companies according to how they pay and things like that. So it's mostly about doing your research about that thing. You have so many resources online. You're way techy, nimesahau kizungu, but you get the point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The second question.
Good afternoon. My question is for the career growth. So most of us here, we are still students, we are still learning. After we're done, we'd want to take an internship, maybe transition into junior developers, junior data scientists, eventually come and become senior developers, and we hold senior roles. So what advice would you give us in order to make that transition much better when we're coming from school all the way to planning our careers out to how we'll get to the very, very top?
How do you students right now to probably getting an internship somewhere? One, there is a lot of opportunities online. That is the easiest that you can go with. You know how to prompt the net. Put in your skill, put in a location, something like that. Results zinatokea, unaangalia, something shows up. But for me, the best way I've found, and even like I'm telling you, and I come and I start having a conversation with Ted, and Ted tells me he has been in the market for 6 months. And then I ask him a question, what is this thing that you're building? And how is I'm like, I'm a digital marketer. Can I help you do something with that particular platform of yours? And Ted doesn't mind. Let's sit down and see if we can make something happen. And that's how I start working with Ted. So even, like I've told you, think of your skills as solutions. Sawa. Go to this, network with people, meet people, talk to people, and find what are they doing in their lives. And think, how can I fix myself? How can I solve a problem for you? And you can just be like, Kim, I've heard that you're a public speaker. How do people know about this thing? Do you have an app? I don't have an app. Can we do something with it? For me, I don't even know like what language you know. But if you show me interest, probably I might be like, yeah, sure, let me see what you can do, right? And then that starts building pole. And that's how you start getting yourself into these rooms. Because you can't depend on like applications every day. That's how people end up sending 50, 100, 200 applications without ever getting feedback. It's about putting yourself out there and being a problem solver. Have a conversation with people, figure out their problems, and ask yourself, how can I be part of that solution? In the little way that you can. And you start creating your own way. Next idea? Super.
The last question there.
Okay, so good afternoon. Okay, I have a question. Okay, when it comes to recruitment, do you consider employment, the rate of unemployment? And also the second question that I have is that, okay, I did my research on, okay, software engineering, and Okay, some people are saying that CV was not necessary because the only thing that you'll be asked is only algorithmic questions, and also your GitHub account. Is that true? And also like to give more emphasis. Thank you.
Unemployment. Guys, we are screwed. It's up to us to figure this thing out. If you don't figure this thing out for yourself, utatamak literally for quite a bit. So for us, one of the things we pride ourselves in is, Grace has told you, we do tons and tons of interviews. We hire tons and tons of people. That's how we help with the unemployment crisis. So companies come to us and they want to recruit, and we help them do that much easier. So that's how we position ourselves to do that. The other bit that we do is we have a sister company that, with all these things, how to do your CV, how to do an interview, how to on that, we can write your CV. They end up getting these opportunities because they have packaged. Packaging. They have packaged themselves well, so they are able to get these opportunities. We also hire tech roles. But for us, if you come through us, you have to send a CV. So definitely you need one. But if you're going to get a job through networking, they might not need a CV. They might just ask you, send me your GitHub account, let me look at what you're doing. And that helps you land the job. So it doesn't hurt being ready for any opportunity from where it's going to come from. I do understand they want to assess your skills, they want to assess all of that. But if I get, for instance, there are roles we get 1,000 applications. I can't go into 1,000 GitHub accounts. Maybe those ones I can go into their GitHub account and be like, let me see what they have done. And probably if that matches, okay? So it's important that you are ready for any opportunity that comes your way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. And I think tumemaliza maswali. So guys, how many people already have a GitHub account? Okay, all of you. How many people have what, repositories or something, projects there? A quarter. How many people have created websites using the skills that you've already gained? Apart from what you're learning in class, you take the skills, when you go home, you do something. How many? An eighth. So guys, you can do a lot with the skills that you've already learned. I think you're almost done with your month 2, meaning you're able to create websites. You can start with that. You can go sell it to someone, and you have the assistance from your lecturers, if it's in terms of hosting and so on. So if you have questions, you have to start somewhere. Don't wait until you have 100 repositories or projects on your GitHub. So we are going to have an icebreaker. Claire and the team, I hope we have winners from my thingy. I hope we have a winner, the one that I'll award, 1 or 2 of them. So guys, let's stand up. Tusimame. Yeah. I don't know if Alan and the team, you have my favorite icebreaker. Yes. I still have 2 speakers, so we have to. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this one. So it's small. We are closing. We are finishing up in the next few minutes. Tumemaliza. Grace and Steve were our last speakers, so we need to close. But for you to be, bubbly, lively, we have to do something. So play that. I hope you guys know this one. Anyone? Amjui? Wa? So tuanze. Amfanyi, nataka mfanye. Tutasimama tu. Pause. Pause, tafadhali. Yes. It's we will do 30 seconds or a minute, so you better do it with me. Tutasimama tu. Thank you. Takunywa soda kwa bili yangu. Yeah. So we do it, we continue standing and we don't close and we are here. We have the whole afternoon. Yes. Yeah. So ni kitu tu kidogo. 1 minute. Let's play. Amfanyi anything? Tasimama tu. Okay, thank you very much, Alan. Asante. Asi jasema mketi. Yeah. Nifanye ingine? Oh, ingine? Okay. Thank you to Katie. Hata mnipigie makofi, juu ningefanya ingine. Okay. Thank you very much. I understand. I know, guys. Mnasikia ninja ama nikuchoka? Wewe yuko njaa. Iwe na juu umesema kabisa na ya uko njaa. So we have come to the end of our tech talk. Makofi. Thank you very much. And yeah, kilicho na mwanzo lazima kiwe na mwisho. So we are going to invite Mr. Wilberforce for the vote of thanks. Then after that, we will have someone pray for us. I don't know if my two good friends will pray for us again. We opened with prayers, we have to close with prayers. Then after hapo, I don't know, I think we have entertainment, we have gin. Yeah, you can bring your requests. Someone requested for brandy. Gin, I hope you have brandy. Yeah, someone told me you play brandy. Brandy, yes. Wilberforce.
Good afternoon, guys. How was the tech talk? Out of 10, how do you rate it? 2 is also an answer, but just that's for you. I want maybe a crowd one. How do you rate our tech talk 2025? 10 is not. I think there are things we need to correct. Sindio? So first I would like just to, the reason why we do this tech talk, some years back, there's a parent who called me akaniuliza habari, Mr. Wilberforce, kijana wangu anaitwa Paul, alimaliza hapo 2021. Can you check the progress? Definitely, you know, most of you know your parents wananipigia, your teachers. So nikamwambia alimaliza, si ndio? Wakaniuliza, did he graduate? Definitely will have a graduation, which mtavaa gowns, you are very smart, you invite your parents later on in the year in August, which I believe most of you should purpose to attend by completing the program. So akapiga simu akaniuliza, mlimpatia certificate? Nikamwambia, nikauliza admin, did you give this boy the certificate? Tukaangalia kwa records, project alifanya, he presented a project in Python. Then another question akaniuliza, so that one ndio ilinichekesha, akaniuliza, how comes nikimwangalia anakaa hajui kitu? You know, that's a tough question. Remember, when you are coming to school, when we visit your schools, when we meet, when you come at the reception, I try to convince, because definitely, as the MD alisema, one of the things that Immobile stand for, we want you to first to succeed. And that's why if you look at our fee, it's a bit affordable. It's not that we cannot charge higher, we can, but we want to make sure that as the speakers mentioned, we want to make sure that it's affordable to all Kenyans. That's why we move up to Lodwar, we are in Mombasa, we are in each area, so that as this is a revolution that is taking place. So we feel like as Immobile is being the first company in Sub-Saharan Africa, we make sure that it's affordable. Even though you saw the speaker says, yeah, hakupitia Immobile alifanya a lot of things. So there is something that you are lucky to have a partial scholarship, or if you're in the university, you still have some discounts on the program just to make sure you can afford the program. We have paid this place, invited great speakers from the industry, from the GAP recruitment you have seen. You have learned, and make sure most of the time when you invite speakers, we just invite young speakers so that you see wanakuwa wamemaliza tu a few years from the university, they have done some amazing things. So let's not, I don't want in the next 4 years nipigiwe simu tena, ulikuwa Alliance, ulikuwa Kapsabet, how comes huyu mtu anafanya cyber security hakaya anajua kitu? At this time when you're presenting your project, it's current, inamaanisha you have done something, but definitely in the tech space things change. So wakati una present unapata that certificate, don't stop kucode. Continually learn, continually learn, continually learn, so that your parent asinipigie simu like the other parent aliambia how comes anakaa hajui kitu, kwa sababu hiyo wakati tukimfunza tuliona anajua. Maybe we are using Python Flask, right now it's Django. If you go to the mobile, there's other things that normally as Immobiles we keep on updating. That's why even if when you come to Immobiles in the next 2 years, the full stack that you are learning right now will not be the same full stack. So we go by the trend. So having said that much, that's just to encourage you to continually. I have another news that I want to make because you are very amazing people. Immobiles, we always have a bonus structure that we give. That one happens in the May intake. So in May, if you have a friend, a cousin, somebody who was near you, when you bring a student, there's a bonus of 1,500. Sawa sawa. So anza kuwa marketer kidogo, just to expand the space. Come in the office, ask for me, ask for Paul, for the May intake. So when you have a friend, mwambie sasa hapa you want to earn. Ukileta watano, there's a list. So once that person pays the registration, the first installment, you are able to get a bonus. This is just to thank you for trusting us and also believing in our services. So and then my vote of thanks goes to you, our clients, our students, for getting time, sacrificing the 6 hours, waking up early. I just want to thank you for making that effort of coming here and choosing Immobiles. The second one goes to our speakers. We have had very amazing speakers, the 4 speakers. The first two was more technical, just to introduce you more on the industry. And then now, definitely, the last one, that's why we did it, to make sure that you understand the dynamics of getting employed. How do you get employed? Usikuwa ulikuja Immobilis tu kupass time. Maybe you saw a friend. So we want to make sure that the skill you are getting, that's why we invited amazing speaker from GAP. GAP is a very big organization with very big partners in banks. So kindly follow them, make sure that you liaise with them so that if an opportunity comes, you are able to tap in your skills. And when they're here, they know Immobilis, what Immobilis does. So definitely when you introduce yourself, I was at Immobilis, I believe, at least kuna kapasenti tutakuwa umepata kushinda ule mtu alienda huko msituni. So the third one goes to our MD for facilitating this event. We're paying hiring of buses, just making sure that we have this space. Getting this space is not easy, but with the effort of the admin team, coordination of the staff, so staff at Immobilis, we also thank you for that. And then the last one that I give is a vote of thanks to God, just to making sure that our students are healthy and all the Immobilis fraternity for this event. So I think that is it. Maybe I invite those who open for prayers. Mtu ombe. Ama kuna mtu akona swali? Any question before we leave? Because once we are through, you leave at your own. We'll get a photo there outside, our team photo. Then now you leave at your own pleasure. Yes.
Maybe on Grace side or maybe on Ted, so that you can have an interaction one-on-one. You have
okay, thank you. That is noted.
Yeah, we have other things coming up, guys. Just to say is we have like a panel where they discuss, then you're able to ask the question. We'll pray for us. So after the prayers, there is the entertainment. We have a group photo outside. After now the group photo, you are free to go. You can someone please to pray for us. Okay, Wilberforce will pray for us.
And pray. So let's pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we come unto this afternoon. Father, we want to thank you, Father, for the amazing time we have had since in the morning, guiding our students and also just making sure that their future is well connected. And we pray that all that we have discussed, it will impact in different ways in their lives. We also pray for amazing speakers. Father, may you continually bless them, impact them as they continually serve the purpose of empowering people and just changing lives in the society. We also pray, God, that in the Immobilis fraternity, starting from our MD, the staff members, the board of directors that govern Immobilis, you're able to give them wisdom, just bless them as we continually impact lives and as we continually grow in the entire country and outside the world. We also pray for our students. Father, may you bless them. They have trusted us as Immobilis, as most of them, as the first choice or the second choice or the third choice for their career advancement in their lives. Father, may you continually bless them, give them the wisdom, make sure that anything that they are learning, they are able to impact, they are able to be well skilled. We also have those who have traveled from different places. Father, may you also protect them as they go back into different destinations. All of us trusting in your name. We thank you and we believe that everything shall be taken care by you, God. I trust that everything will be okay. I pray this short prayer through our Lord Savior. Amen.
Thank you very much. You can have your seats. Jean, the stage is yours. Then, yeah. So officially we tumemaliza. Huyo ndio Brandi. Ona vile una vibe, so ni huyo.
Another successful one, weke kwa portfolio.
Just hold on, please. Thank you. Please, just that registered. Yes, yeah. 2 minutes.
Yajeni. Jina ni Feti ama Top G na niko na rap song inaitwa Life Changes. Kana zapata instrumento ya Skeng. Skeng, Life Changes, instrumental. Don't give in, keep your focus. From the block to the top, meter rise, meter pop, quiz of screens, meter cross. In the show, don't give in, keep your focus. Day and night, hizo memories zi crop up, ni ngumu ku keep up, na hizo challenges around man. So minta smile, ndo nikuoneshe I'm strong, but I'm not deep down. A lot ilifanya niwe strong, ndo ni make it to the top. Siku give up cause I was raised to be strong. Nata challenges zikama the top, meter rise, meter pop, cause those screens, meter crop up, top boy. From the go back, mother in show, don't give in, keep your focus. From the block to the top, meter rise, meter pop, cause those screens, meter crop up, top boy. Wazi, nimemaliza.
Tingine, kuna rapa mwingine. Nani anaweza mu outdo? Ati nani? Wakadinali? Ni yeye tu. You are the best. Got it. Sawa, thank you very much. Jean.
The global technology and innovation ecosystem is rapidly Silicon Savannah, Kenya's technology space continues to tap into the fourth technologies, including automation, data science, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, among others, to spur growth in the digital economy. Out of the 600 innovation hubs in Africa, 50 of those are hosted in Kenya, making it an attractive destination for technovation giants like Google, Visa, Amazon, Microsoft, among others. Given the growth, the market demands for talent has continued to expand, prompting local players like Safaricom to introduce industry digital talent programs to address the skills gap. Therefore, it is critical to train and skill a highly qualified workforce to drive and sustain the sector. Welcome to Immobilis. Established over a decade ago, Immobilis Technology Training Institute has been empowering youth by tapping and skilling them in ICT to best prepare them for global opportunities tech presents.
I developed my interest in the tech space right after high school. Since my grades were okay, I stepped into my first tech class.
Since I was a kid, I always were even calling me Fundi.
Right after my campus, I was considered the best in Bungoma County and rolled out by then the governor. Funnily, it was actually Immobilis that have been subcontracted to do the program. I ventured into digital skills, a program for Google. I was given every sorts of engineering tasks to do at Immobilis, and finally I was proven to be able to do, and so that's when I began being a lecturer at Immobilis.
And the reason we started Immobilis is we saw two interesting trends. The first one was that there's 40% unemployment in Kenya, which frankly is quite unacceptable. And yet our highest conviction was that young people are interested in learning, they're interested in knowledge, they're interested in certification and in improving their lives. So we started a course, the first in sub-Saharan Africa, around network operations and network certificate engineering. The vision of Immobilis and the reason we exist and what gives us the greatest joy is empowering and supporting young people to upskill and to get exposure through training, mentorship, coaching, to be able to basically get the skills that they need to prepare them for the future of work.
My experience at Immobilis has been good. I've learned many languages, HTML, Java. The most interesting part of the course I'm doing, the full stack software development, is that it gives people creativity of making the website, and I can now even do my own job, creating website, the front view, back end.
For me, what has been interesting is the websites and databases. I've always wondered, for example, like when people are registering for a certain program using a website, where does the data go to? Doing this course at Immobilis has also given me more skills in doing Android, so that in case someone has a website that they feel like they need to develop, someone's running a business but they're not able to reach a suitable market, so that
Immobilis imparts digital knowledge, software and other technologies training, equipping inclusive young graduates. Notable recognition is Smart Glove, invented by Roy Alela, an alumnus of Immobilis Technology Training Institute.
Sign.io is a sign language to speech translation glove that aims to extend the communication capabilities of individuals with a speech impairment.
The knowledge I got from Immobilis has helped me get a job at MPost, where I work as a mobile developer, and also have a project for my country currently ongoing for schools.
The knowledge that I learned in Immobilis immediately was applied in my first internship. And at Ziltech Technologies, I lead a team of data engineers. We develop business intelligence analytics system. We take data of our clients, analyze that data, and these reports, they are able to make intelligent decisions out of it.
So we don't want to come in and reinvent the course and say that, hey, we're teaching cybersecurity.
When you join Immobilis, depending on the course you have taken, it takes a different duration. For the MIT course, it takes 4 months. By the end of those 4 months, you can be able to create dynamic and professional systems. Python takes 2 months, Python for web. Then you can be able to use Flask to be able to create a system. On data science, we have 2 clusters. So for beginners, it takes 3 months. For an advanced version, it takes 2 months because already you know Python. So it takes you less time to be able to learn now much more advanced in data. For cybersecurity, it takes 3 months. By the end of those 3 months, you can be able to do penetration testing, learn actually how to prevent hacking in any organization or system.
One thing I really love about Immobilis is about their classes are practical. Secondly, their lecturers are friendly and are able to guide you up to the completion of the program. Every day there's a task you are given, you get to actualize it as you do it.
We've trained over 8,700 young people in those 12 years. Not just in Kenya, we've had students come from as far as Ghana, Rwanda, and Nigeria even, come to take our courses. We've seen some of our alumni go and work in Facebook in Ireland as tech leads. We've seen some of our alumni work at Safaricom, the Network Operations Center. We've had alumni work at Google as community managers.
Additionally, Immobilis runs programs that provide professional ICT services to both local and multinational organizations.
My name's Edna Carijo. I'm the program manager at Immobilis. I've been with Immobilis over the last 6 years. Some of the major programs that we've run over the last years include Google Digital Skills for Africa program. Google had an ambitious goal of equipping 10 million young Africans with digital skills to prepare them for the future of work. Immobilis was selected by Google as one of the 12 partners in Africa to roll out this program. So through this partnership, we've been able to equip over 320,000 youth on digital skills across East Africa, with 46% of them being girls. For the Ajira Digital Program, we have a team of 170 championing online work and digital work as well, and helping young people through their online work journey. We also run the Mobigirls program, which we are very passionate about because it targets young women in technology.
Immobilis launched Mobigirls in the year 2016 with the aim to train, empower young women. After completion of the Mobigirls course, the girls and the young women are able to create mobile applications, websites that enable them to be self-employed and also acquire employment. We are proud to have empowered men lives of over 220 young women.
In all of this, the main aim is to equip and prepare young people to help them harness the digital economy and exploit the technology space and become thought leaders in the
institution. Immobilis prides itself to have over the years.
Immobilis was named the best partner by Google across Africa in terms of So we received the award twice, and this was because of the efforts of the
We've received awards from the Presidential Digital Talent Program as the best private sector of ICT in education. We were fortunate to partner with the iHub and the University of Nairobi to the first ever regional mobile laboratory around the world. What also gives us a lot of excitement and joy is seeing our alumni succeed in the world of work, whether it's winning hackathons for innovation startups and then coming back and saying, hey, I need to hire other developers for my startup, whether it's the government of Kenya entrusting us incredible undertaking funded through very graciously by them. So for us, we know what we're doing makes a difference, and so transforming the lives of young people, that's been what's very
on its training modules, as well as provide growth in its innovative program solutions, championing increased uptake of information communication technologies by African youth to enable them earn decent livelihoods to promote continental and global development.
I'd say Immobilis is a good institution. The lecturers are very understanding.
You will enjoy almost like a 24-hour support. You can access your lecturers and tutors and every other.
Tech is the future. Like, there's nothing we'll be able to do maybe in the
Various opportunities in tech. You just need to map out what you really want in the tech space and look for a specific skill-based program.
Africans have the opportunity, as the world continues to change, to be able to capitalize on employment and starting companies and solving problems for their communities if they understand tech. As Immobilis, we want to be your partner to help you develop, gain the skills you need to be able to succeed in the future of work. Join us.
The global technology and innovation ecosystem is rapidly growing, and Kenya is not an exception. Dubbed Silicon Savannah, Kenya's technology space continues to tap into the fourth industrial revolution on various technologies, including automation, data science, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, among others, to spur growth in the digital economy. Out of the 600 innovation hubs in Africa, 50 of those are hosted in Kenya, making it an attractive destination for technovation giants like Google, Visa, Amazon, Microsoft, among others. Given the growth, the market demands for talent has continued to expand, prompting local players like Safaricom to introduce industry digital talent programs to address the skills gap. Therefore, it is critical to train and skill a highly qualified workforce to drive and sustain the sector. Welcome to Immobilis. Established over a decade ago, Immobilis Technology Training Institute has been empowering youth by tapping and skilling them in ICT to best prepare them for global opportunities tech presents.
I developed my interest in the tech space right after high school. Since my grades were okay, I stepped into my first tech class.
Since I was a kid to do tech, let's say a radio is not working at home, I would open it and try and fix it. They were even calling me Fundi.
Right on my campus, I was considered the best in Bungoma County, and there was this program rolled out by then the governor. Funnily, it was actually Immobilis that have been subcontracted to do the program. I ventured into digital skills, a program for Google. I was given every sorts of engineering tasks to do at Immobilis, and finally I was proven to be able to do, and so that's when I began being a lecturer at Immobilis.
And the reason we started Immobilis is we saw two interesting trends. The first one was that there's 40% unemployment in Kenya, which frankly is quite unacceptable. And yet our highest conviction was that young people are interested in learning, they're interested in knowledge, they're interested in certification and in improving their lives. So we started a course, the first in sub-Saharan Africa, around network operations and network certificate engineering. The vision of Immobilis and the reason we exist and what gives us the greatest joy is empowering and supporting young people to upskill and to get exposure through training, mentorship, coaching, to be able to basically get the skills that they need to prepare them for the future of work.
My experience at Immobilis has been good. I've learned many languages, HTML, Java. The most interesting part of the course I'm doing, the full stack software development, is that it gives people creativity of making the website, and I can now even do my own job, creating website, the front view, back end.
For me, what has been interesting is the websites and databases. I've always wondered, for example, like when people are registering for a certain program using a website, where does the data go to? Doing this course at Immobilis has also given me more skills in doing Android web, so that in case someone has a website that they feel like they need to develop, someone's running a business but they're not able to reach a suitable market, so that a website or an application would actually build.
Immobilis imparts digital knowledge, software and other technologies training, equipping inclusive young graduates with marketable industry-driven skills. Of notable recognition is Smart Glove, invented by Roy Alela, an alumnus of Immobilis Technology Training Institute.
Sign.io is a sign language to speech translation glove that aims to extend the communication capabilities of individuals with a speech impairment.
The knowledge I got from Immobilis has helped me get a job at MPost, where I work as a mobile developer, and also schools.
The knowledge that I learned in Immobilis.
Web, then you can be able to use Flask to be able to create a system. On data science, we have two clusters. So for beginners, it takes 3 months. For an advanced version, it takes 2 months because already you know Python. So it takes you less time to be able to learn now much more advanced in data. For cybersecurity, it takes 3 months. By the end of those 3 months, you can be able to... Cybersecurity, it takes 3 months. By the end of those 3 months, you can be able to do penetration.